Just repping, oh my God, if I die, I'm the legend when they lay me down.
Hello guys and girls and welcome to the new video. Today we are going to talk about female composition and which commanders should you use in this composition. So I have prepared a notepad as you can see, and I'll do the setups for infantry, spear and cav. The mixed ones you can try work something out for yourself. Just one disclaimer, I won't include like big five commanders here or Diana and the Night King because I think 99% of the player base doesn't have them to gold and fully awakened, so they are not really useful at blue quality. That's why I won't include them and waste time explaining why are they so good. If you want to know more about them, you can check out Love Angels content and videos about this topic. So let's start with infantry composition. So for female setup, like we know, the biggest commander for this setup and must-have commander for this setup is Layla Mormont. You want to have her on. You want to have her on gold and 4 stars, so she can. Of course, you cannot make her 4 stars without her being gold. This is the most important commander in the female setup. So if we set inf, then we are going to go for infantry commanders that will give you infantry bonuses, but because this is a female composition, you want to go with female commanders. So we'll go with Lats, of course, Arya, Haley, and Andrea. So two more things that you can do, like for example, you don't like Haley, you have Sinara on 3 stars or Sinara on 4 stars. I wouldn't recommend using these two together, doesn't work out. But if you have Sinara 3 stars or Rhea 3 stars or 4 stars, you could probably replace Haley. Also, it depends on your damage output. Some people have told me like, why don't you put Chris in here? You have like 4 females in female setup, that's enough. I might like agree, but as you can see, this is a full imp setup, and stats do matter when you go full imp, but it really needs to do some testing to like say, would you replace Arya for Chris or Haley for Chris, especially when she's 4 star. Like in this composition, I only miss Andrea on 4 stars, which for me isn't worth doing it. But if you don't have Andrea, if you don't have Lats, you can go with Sinara or Rhea. Uh, and pretty much you would like one more thing that you could do. I could like replace Haley and put Salma. So this will decrease infantry stats, but uh, female setup will get more synergy. So also depends on your current stats. Like for example, if you're in 2000 somethings, this might work out. But if you're like 500 and you're getting like, I mean, you're probably not if you're having these type of commanders. But like I said, I think 4 females are still enough. If you don't have all commanders, you can just go like one inf. If you have Sag, you'll use Sag. I mean, it's okay. Like if you don't have Lats, you just go for Haley because she's free to play. Basically, uh, 4 stars commanders, female ones are good to use because their active skill has a lower cooldown and they have additional skill which will be influential with Layla. So what we said, optimal, I would use like this. So uh, we would use Layla plus Haley plus Arya, Lats, and Andrea. So you could replace Chris instead of Arya, I guess, or Haley if you don't have one of them. If you don't have to pay to win once, you can go Seg instead of Lats or Andrea. Like if you don't have every commander, or if you have female composition working out, like you have your Cav main, but you want to try to go imps because your opponent is spear, and you don't have this much infantry commanders, but you have Salma, you can try using Salma instead of, for example, Haley. This is my opinion. Like I said, putting in Salma will boost your active skill damage, but it will reduce your stats, so it's up to you, really. So again, let's clear selection, and again, let's go again, but this time for spears. So again, Layla is your lord. You will always use her. There's like nothing you can change about that. And first of spears, you're gonna use is Annie, of course. Then you have a really limited number of spear female commanders. So what you're gonna probably do is use Arya here because she gives you total stats. You'll use Salma here because she also gives spearman attack, and these four are really good. Fifth commander, you can do a lot of combinations. You can go with Julian, it's totally okay. You could go, for example, you could switch off any or not any. Let's say you can switch off Arya for your Lutz, and then you could put here also Jamie, but he needs to be 4 stars, so lads can work with female setup and with them. It's a hybrid setup. Like I could make a separate video to like explain it, but this is like also option. But let's go with normal one. So you'll use Arya, and the fifth one you have many options. You can go Marjorie. Oh, sorry. You can go Marjorie. Uh, Uma is also option if you're like super free to play, like you don't have like commanders like these, so you go Uma and I don't know, like Annie because you can get her through recruitment pass, and like Miranda if you have. This would be like most close to free to play you can get, not a free to play, like low spender you can get, I think, because it's super hard as a free to play to get them to 4 stars. But I guess this is like lowest effort setup. Then the best one would be, like I said, getting Salma in here because she's second most important for the female setup commander. And yeah, there's many options. Uma is not awakened yet, but when she gets awakened, she would be more useful. Most likely, I would go here Miranda, and that's it. That's full female setup. As you can see, I don't have Miranda on 4 stars, so I wouldn't really use this. But I guess this is spears are not that good. Like I said, spears better to use hybrids. But let's try to write this down. So again, we have Layla plus Salma, Arya, Annie, and Miranda. So what you could do is put Jamie instead of Miranda, and then replace Annie. I would rather, because you're going full spear, I would rather replace Arya. So Arya with Jamie, but it has to be 4 stars. Uh, but you would need to put like Drake or Lats or Enzo to have heals to actually proc. Oh, you actually, yeah. I mean, you would put the Lats here, but again, it's this is the female setup is most difficult to do with females. So I think this is the optimal setup. If you don't have all commanders on 4 stars, then you could also use Marjorie here. Of course, you could use her in uh, infantry setup, but I would only use her if you're going against a normal attack setup like Sinara setup that uses lots of male commanders. So I will stick with this one. This primary one will stick with it because it's hard. Other like I don't want to put commanders like you. Of course, you would put Diana here, but she's an expensive commander, and like I said, only top 1% players have them. There's no point of me talking like they will get her and they will use her in this setup. So no point of me talking. And yeah, when Yuma gets awakened, you can get her, you can get Margie uh, to replace Arya or Miranda. Like with the Uma replacing Arya, you will get more stats, but Arya has amazing 4-star ability. And with Margie replacing Miranda, you will get less stats, but you will counter the normal attack setup. So let's finish it off with Cavs. So like I again said, Layla is the main. Uh, Salma, of course, going with her. Liana, I would use Liana because female setup synergy. And then again, we have like problem with female, but we could use again Annie here and Arya because this is the total attack. But if you really want to get more cat ones, you could put like Enzo in here and again do a hybrid one. But I think for me this setup is fine for Cavs. Uh, Not really much. Like you could, if you want more stats, you could put, if you're free to play, put Meryl instead of Annie. I would rather do Annie because I don't know. I feel like these two are really hard to pick because they have good 4-star skills. But you can replace either one of them with Meryl or Enzo if you have Enzo. Uh, or you can try to do a hybrid setup again with Jamie because it works with females. So, but I will leave this setup as a main. So let's say Layla, Salma, Liana, Annie, and Arya. So these five, and then you can play with Enzo, Meryl, uh, plus Jamie. Meryl doesn't work with Jamie, but 4 stars. But it really depends what you have. Like I said, it's hard to tell people what should they use when you don't know what do they have. So, like I said, if you have 4-star Enzo or 3-star Enzo, you can use him. Like, of course, I would rather use Enzo in here. I will lose one female, but the difference in stats is huge. So, also Meryl 4 stars, I guess, works here. It really depends, like how ready are you to sacrifice your stats? Again, if you don't have 4-star Layla, then you cannot even talk about synergies, because it won't work. You can have all these other commanders on 4 stars and Layla on 3 stars, and it won't work. So thanks again, guys, for listening. And here is a little overview. Again, like I said, I think female setup works best with infantries because there's so many infantry commanders to work with. Spears are also okay, but I feel like calves are the worst ones. Like, look, you have only in calf setup, you have only Arya that's free to play available to get. All rest you need to get the packs and then get epic tokens. It's a lot of investment. Then when you look at Spear, again, it's similar situation. Again, only Arya there, but when Uma gets awakened, you could maybe get two in there if you switch Uma with Miranda. But on Nymph, if you see, there's Haley, uh, Arya, there's two commanders guaranteed, and then you can still put like Chris instead of Andrea again, and have three free to play commanders to play with. So that's pretty much it, guys. Sorry if it was too long. If you want like a same or similar video explaining normal setup, bleed setup, or weakness setup, let me know and I'll do it. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.